Hi there.
Hi
Hello.
there. Welcome back to Silhouettes JV podcast. I'm Gia.
And I'm David. Oh, I'm David. I've been doing a Patti LuPone impression for the last 15 years. No, thank you. Our friend Thomas Porat, love you, Thomas. He saw Jersey Boys, the original Broadway cast, like 7 times. He does a Patti LuPone impression. I do Patti LuPone impression now. That's it. Hi, we're here.
Wait, for the record, so Thomas is also our roommate, and it is hilarious where David and Thomas are up until 3 in the morning just doing Patti LuPone, and it is a blast. So,
All right.
the roommate. And that is why everyone needs to move to New York City because that is the only place where you'll find kindred spirits to do this with. But welcome back, everybody. We're so happy to be with you all again. We are bringing you a very special episode. It's actually one of two special episodes, all in effort to promote a very special party that you may have heard about. If you've seen on our Instagram and our social, David and I are very lucky and thankful to be on the committee for a party called Oh What a Night, for fans by fans, celebrating 20 years of Jersey Boys with its original premiere at La Jolla Playhouse. Of course, so everyone knows, it started at La Jolla and then it transferred to Broadway a year later. So this is the 20th anniversary of La Jolla. And we are bringing some amazing guests, cast and crew to come to the party and fans. And who we have for you today are two very key people and beloved women in our lives who we would not be on this committee without. A lot of our lives, a lot of things in our lives could not have happened without these two wonderful people. And the party is actually less than a month away. It's on Monday, October 14th from 6 to 9 at Patsy's Italian restaurant in Midtown. It is the best Italian restaurant in Manhattan. We are totally not biased. Sal Scugamilo, we love you.
He has
Yes.
all the photos to your classic New York restaurant. James Gandolfini. If he could have gotten Sinatra, he would have had. I mean, they have the Sinatra room upstairs. So, but I mean, it's amazing, guys, in there. It's
Yes.
and his stories are just wonderful.
Yeah, it's unreal. Tony Danza's stories, he could talk to you for days about them. But today we're bringing you two amazing ladies. So the first is Pam Singer. She is the creator of this party and many things to bring the Jersey Boys world together, both cast and crew and fans. And she is the leader of this committee. And she also took us to meet Frankie Valli in March, which was unbelievable. And very recently, we also got to meet Tom Austin, who co-wrote Short Shorts with Bob Gaudio. She knows everyone. When at the height of the Jersey Boys blog, she did so many interviews, so go check them out online as well. And we love Pam. And second, we have Wanda Libardi. She is a Spitfire. We love her. She's an actress, singer. She actually has a film that's in the festival circuit right now. And fun fact, she actually met her husband who worked at the August Wilson when Jersey Boys was playing. And there's a very special story that she's going to share with all of you. So without further ado, Pam and Wanda, welcome to the pod.
Hi. So
Hello.
exciting to be here on Silhouettes Jersey Boys podcast.
Oh, we're happy to have you.
Absolutely. Love you guys.
Yeah, love you.
Yes, we love you both so much. So Pam, if we could start with you, just with what's your origin story with the Four Seasons and leading to Jersey Boys? We want to hear the whole timeline of.
It all started with Jersey. I am a born and bred Jersey girl. And if you were a Jersey girl, boy, otherwise, growing up in this, I will say the 50s, 60s, or 70s, you loved Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. You just did. The generation before us, there was Frank Sinatra. For us, it was Frankie Valli. And even though I never got to see the original Four Seasons, I loved all of the iterations that went on in the 70s and 80s. So just a little background on Frankie Valli. As we all know, he is from Belleville. But two of the later Four Seasons, Don Saccone and Jerry Polchi are from Plainfield, New Jersey, which is the town next to mine, which is the town actually where my mother was born and raised. So it's kind of and I'll tell a little story later. You'll see how it's a full circle moment with my mother. But I remember the exact moment where I was when I was reading the New York Times on a Sunday and I saw the first ad. It was probably July or August of 2005 that there was going to be a Broadway show about Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. And this could not be, I mean, my love of theater, my love of Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons, this could not be, more perfect. But what I realized is I actually did not know, and this was in the full page ad in the New York Times, I did not really know the story behind the Four Seasons. I knew who the guys were, I loved them, but I didn't really know about the history of the Four Seasons. And that was, something that was really incredible, to learn from Jersey boys. And yeah, just sort of another really neat thing about it. But it all really started for me and Frankie when I was 16 or when I was turning 16. So in New Jersey, growing up, when you turned 16, it was a big deal. You had a party. So my mother, who also, was a born and bred Jersey girl, a theater goer, and a party planner, said, okay, we're going to rent a bus. I'll get tickets for you and a group of your friends for any concert you want to see. Well, of course, it was Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. And they were playing at a great venue, which is sort of like the Beacon Theater, which is the Capitol Theater in Passaic, New Jersey. So my mother literally rented a bus. I took probably 35 kids to this concert. We went to this concert. It was great. And halfway through, Frankie gets up. He's on the stage. He goes to the front of the stage and he says, we have somebody very special here today. It is Pamela's birthday and I'm going to sing happy birthday to her. And he sang happy birthday, baby. Well, I almost fainted. Little did I know my mother was not big, a big personality, a bossy Jersey girl, also had gone backstage and spoken to Frankie's manager. And all my friends were very impressed. I was the coolest girl in school for about a week. And if you think that's the end of the story, you're not from Jersey.
Exactly.
Years go by.
Oh.
2005. Okay. Before Jersey Boys actually even went into previews that fall, it was the Broadway flea market. And at that time, they had a photo booth where you could get your picture taken with, it was mostly the actors that were in shows that season. But as it happened, they had Frankie Valli. So I get there, the photo booth opens at like 12. I get there at like 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm the first person online. I go to the photo booth, Frankie's there. I say hi. I said, you probably don't remember me, and I proceed to tell him the story of we will not reveal the year. He actually, now for those of us who know a little bit about Frankie, we know he's somewhat reserved. He's a little bit stoic. He literally threw his head back and laughed. He said, I can't believe it. We loved playing at that place. We had kind of like a little moment. I still have the picture. And if you think the story ends there, you're not from Jersey. Okay, fast forward. I'm trying to think what year this was. It was probably 5 years into Jersey Boys. So it's my birthday again, April 9th, and I'm at a place in Midtown. One of my friends took me out there. We walk in the place. Who is sitting there but Frankie Valli and his then girlfriend? I went over. He looked at me. He knew who I was, but I guess he didn't remember my name. I said, it's my birthday. I said, we have this like little birthday thing. He laughed again. So Frankie and I share a little, kind of connection around my birthday. So that's kind of like, my Frankie Valli story there. But the first time I saw Jersey Boys, I fell in love. I mean, how can you not? The music, the story, the performances. And along with that, and Wanda can talk a little bit more about this, I think it changed my life. It changed so many lives. But along with the show, there was a lovely couple in Las Vegas, Susie and Dale Scarl, who they were big Frankie Valli fans. They started a Jersey Boys blog, which not only had all news, it had interviews. I became, as you mentioned, thank you, a correspondent. I interviewed a lot of the cast. But mostly what was beautiful about it is it had what was then called a message board. There was no texting. There were no social media sites. Instagram wasn't born yet. So this was a way in real time for those of us who love the show, who love Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons, to really connect.
Kind of like Broadway World and Playbill with all those message boards. People
Yes, but I don't think on those message boards you can communicate directly with someone in real time.
Oh, like a direct message?
Yeah, it was a direct message.
Oh, yes, that you can't. Oh, that you can't do. That's
so, you saw something someone said and you responded and it was posted right away. I don't know how they did it, and they did it from Las Vegas, but this was the way that most of us connected in the beginning. And then what started happening is we would plan for a group of us. It was usually on Sunday afternoons. And I became like the social director. And it was a restaurant we really liked in the theater district called The Smiths. I started planning brunches and we all went there. Cast members started coming. Jen came, Michael came, Travis came, Christian came, and it was, this is how our lives changed. So
wow.
Yeah, that's just a little bit about the history. Yeah. So go ahead.
No, there's so much about all that early stuff, because obviously I think we knew the story about him singing to you, but I don't think we ever heard about like all the other meetings and everything. That was really amazing and like so much more extensive than we thought. And how like it was, how early on you guys started, like because Travis transferred to Vegas very quickly, and so that's like amazing that like it was happened so early on. That's always how it starts. Like it's you build so many and I think that's what sets this show apart from so many other shows, because the cast really got involved with the fans and it was really one big family. And you really don't see it. I mean, especially not nowadays, but like
not at all.
Even in the old days, like that never happens.
Yeah, no, it was a beautiful thing. And I'll always be grateful to Susie and Dale for really connecting so many of us. When they were really, far away, they came for a couple of the anniversaries, but it wasn't like they were there, every week. And then of course I met Wanda and my sister, and it's safe to say that the show really changed my life. I think it changed Wanda's life. It changed so many of our lives and really gave us friendships, marriages, just beautiful things that I had never experienced from any show. And I've been going to the theater since I was 5. And so
we've yet to, and I think I can speak for Gia and me too. We've yet to find another musical that has like touched us with this much of an impact.
Yes, well, that you created friends from. I think that's really the key. And even with doing this podcast, we had no idea what to expect. And the fact that we made, amazing friends in both of you and so many other people who love the show. Carolyn Miller, we have to give her a shout out. She helped us in many, many ways. Of course, Howard Tucker, we have to give him a shout out. We would not know both of you without Howard, of course. And also the fact that it's the cast and crew who actually do want relationships and friendships with the fans. I would assume that gets rarer and rarer, or more rare every time, as time goes on. And also the fact that like the real life band, like it's a bio musical, like they're interested too, and they love it and they're thankful for it. And I think that's what really sets it apart is the gratitude. And it's like don't forget where you're from, the old neighborhood, and like this show is the old neighborhood for so many artists.
And can we give a quick shout out to Rick Ellis also?
Oh, yes.
Because I've never seen a show where the writers, and I've met Marshall also, who's lovely, but Rick has really kept in touch with us, developed friendships, and where do you find a show where the writer is invested in its iterations and its, fan base? It's just amazing. He's, a lovely man.
Yes.
And I think also, when Tommy was alive, he was at the August Wilson a lot. He was very sociable and charming, and Wanda and I got to know Joe Long, who's God bless him, a lovely man. I never met Nick Massey. I've met Bob. He's a little kind of social shy, but also very nice. And Frankie, even though he's reserved and, not really a social butterfly, I think he's met, some of us and really, he doesn't have security guards around him. He, you can talk to him. I just have never had this experience before. So it's really, this show in so many iterations, friendships, the beauty of the show, the music, and opening up the Four Seasons to a whole other generations is just incredible. So, yeah.
Absolutely.
We love it. Yay. Well, that's a great segue for Wanda. So, Wanda, if you could talk about your origin story and how you and Pam really got as close as you are, that would be great.
And it's Libardi, not Lombardi, everyone.
There's no M.
No M and no O.
That's right. That's right. I've heard them all. What can I say? Well, let's see. I can remember being a kid and going to the department store with my parents and buying my 45 of Ragdoll. Love that. And then, the Four Seasons came to Tanglewood in the 70s. I think it was like 1974 or so. And that was the first time I ever saw them in person. And I remember Frankie was, he was awesome, but I was in love with Joe Long. When I met him, I said, oh my gosh. I said, I have been in love with you since I saw you at Tanglewood in the 70s. He goes, well, what about now? I said, I'm still in love with you. So then I was taking a trip to California and I thought, well, I gotta see something while I'm out there. And I'm like, okay, so what is this show, Jersey Boys? Oh, it's about the Four Seasons. Oh, I love the Four Seasons. So I got tickets, went to see that. And the day that I went, there was a talk back with the cast. Oh. And so you had to say your name and where you were from. And so I said my name and I said I was from the Berkshires, and all the girls in the cast started clapping and stuff. And they had all done theater here. Well, Jen had done theater in Williamstown. So we actually knew each other from Williamstown. And it was so long ago, and then I ran into her the next morning at the hotel. She was there with her husband and her in-laws. And I ran up to her and told her I saw the show. And I said, I hear it might be going to Broadway. She said, yeah, there's talk of that. I said, who will be going? She said, we don't know. And, then it turns out she's the only woman in the cast that came to New York. And I said, well, if you come to New York, I'll see you then. Well, it was like I was going all the time. I'd meet her backstage. She was introducing me to the cast and all this stuff. And then she did a cabaret one night. I think it was at the Laurie Beachman. I remember Rick was there and he was standing in line and went in and everything, saw it. And that's where we met Pam. Pam and I met there. And so we've been friends since then. And then Daniel Reichert was leaving the show. And Jen asked me to go to the party with her after the show. For Daniel. So I did, and it was fun, and he was up there yakking, and we had the whole place to ourselves. And then they were all standing at the bar, and I think Jen introduced me to JT and whatever. And then they all turned around and went, "We think you two should go out." Like, okay, no pressure. Back. And so, JT was like, "Well, would you like to sometime?" I said, "Sure." So we went out to dinner, and it's kind of like the rest is history.
The rest is history. Wow.
So it's wild, because when I think about being that kid that bought that 45 and always loving them, and then actually getting to the point of, meeting them and knowing Tony and Olivia and Dario, and going to see Frankie and having gone backstage several times to see him. And so it's just been wild. I mean, who ever thought? And like Pam was saying, and we were all saying, the friendships, the closest with the cast, and the crew too. I mean, I've never, when I lived in New York, I went to acting school in New York. I went to see a lot of shows. That never happened, ever.
It's so different. There's a line from a show. It says, "Family is everything." I forget what show it's from.
Yeah, me too. Boy, I'll tell you.
Who said it?
Wanda, can you share the story of how you and JT got engaged?
Oh boy. Well, wow. Unbeknownst to me, of course. Well, we had talked several times about seeing the show together. He'd only ever seen it once. He brought his girls to see it. So we talked about it. And then finally we were like, and this was after seeing each other for a while. And we were like, why don't we go the Sunday matinee of Memorial Day weekend? He said, "Yeah, that sounds great. And so I go, "Let's get dressed up." Oh, he said, "Yeah, I'll wear a suit." So we got all dressed up. I said, "Yeah, and then we can go out to dinner afterwards and yada, yada." So I'm adding all this great stuff to something that he's already got planned that I had no clue. So, unbeknownst to me, he had to get permission from Rick Ellis, from Dodgers, from God to take this time to do this, and he was told can't go over 5 minutes and all this kind of stuff. So, and they made him rehearse, and Pam Remler played me. And while he did the proposal thing, he's there, "No, come on, really?" And they set lights and everything, so, but I didn't know any of this, of course. So when we get to the theater, we're going way down the front, and we were like either in the 3rd or 5th row or whatever, right on the aisle and everything. And so we're watching the show. I know it was great. And then they get to before they're doing "Oh, What a Night," and they stop the show. And Renee says, "Well, we have someone very special in the audience." She's there, one of our own. And she goes, "JT, blah, 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 stand up. So what did you think of seeing it from the other end?" And he goes, "I love this show. And, I love dancing backstage and singing along at, just the music, and it never gets old and yada." And I'm thinking, wow, this is so nice that they're recognizing him, that he's out here seeing the show. What a group of, this is fantastic. I love these people. And then he turns around. Oh, all of a sudden he had a microphone too. And I didn't know where that came. Someone came down the aisle and gave it to him. I didn't know that. All of a sudden he's got a microphone, he's talking to the cast. And then he turns around to the house and says, "But that's not why I asked you all here tonight." What is he doing? This is crazy. And I still had no clue. So then he says to me, "Wanda," and takes my hand and stands me up. I still had no clue. The audience is all like, and then he got down on his knee and he proposed to me. It was crazy. And you see all these flashes from people taking pictures with their phones. And then the cast, they're taking their phones out of their costumes. And somebody videotaped it from the back. And the next thing I know, Pam's over here, because they got her in. They brought her in through, the back, so we didn't see her. So she was there for the whole thing.
It
So
was
we video from, Yeah, we have video from the back of the house. We have video from the stage. You know, there was a light on us and everything. And then they went into a what a night. And then they had champagne for us backstage and everything with the cast and crew. It was crazy. It was just like, I still can't believe that it happened like that. So,
It's beautiful.
yeah, right? Seriously. Holy
And
man.
again, what other show could that possibly happen at?
Absolutely. I just had a funny thought. Like, while JT's watching the show, like that scene changed late, that scene changes late. That's no, I'm just kidding, I'm just kidding. That show moves. So no way. Like,
Yeah, you got it.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wanda and I saw the show a couple times from the lighting booth. Which
Oh,
is
yes.
all the way.
Wait,
the
is
heck
it-
up and yeah.
Is
that was an
it
interesting
backstage,
perspective.
the lighting booth?
Yeah,
No,
no, not in the backstage.
It's behind the audience. So you're up above the audience. Look,
Oh, okay,
stage.
gotcha. Is the stage manager calling the cues from there, from the light booth? Or
no, manager calls from off stage. It was off stage left actually, because one time I got to stand there and watch the show, and the guys would run off, and then they'd go back on here, and I got to watch them do their whole thing at the end from stage left. Where-
Wow.
is this off stage, but they weren't like down in the basement by the elevator.
No, the orchestra's down in the basement because there was no
Right.
pit open. No, it was called from the stage left.
Gotcha.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that
Yeah.
sounds incredible.
Yeah, it's great. It was great.
Yeah.
Crazy.
One of a kind.
Yes.
You can't
And
beat
there
it.
were times of going up into the dressing room with Jen, you know, and seeing all the girls there, and they were so sweet and everything. And yeah, I mean, I think of it now I had forgotten about like that until we get talking here. And it's like, yeah, going up there and doing that. And the day that we got engaged, I was standing downstairs talking to Gus, I think it was. And Renee came downstairs and she was like, I heard you were here. She was in her costume to get ready to go on. She gave me a hug and everything. It was so nice. I said, oh, it's so great to see you, you know, blah, blah, blah. Then, you know, the ending of the show came. So she knew what was
And meanwhile, you're like, oh my God, so good to see you.
Yes.
Yeah, that
You're
you
getting
feel like a
engaged
celebrity.
later.
Yes. Well, just in case our fans don't know, can you please say what was JT's role?
Oh, he was a stagehand. He was a stagehand.
Yeah.
So he did a lot of stuff, you know, moving the sets out and stuff like that, and taking them off and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Is
He
he-
did down where the guys came up, you
Yeah.
know, with the microphones. He was down there doing that.
Oh, cool. Was
Yeah.
he? Is he a resident stagehand at the August Wilson from production to production?
He was at the August Wilson for a long time, for 30-something years, I believe. Yeah. It was weird because you know, I saw Little Women there. I saw a Little Shop. I saw a bunch of shows there, and not knowing that he was back. You know what I mean? He was backstage this whole time, and I was out in the audience. And wow, it's just weird when you think about it.
Wow, and I didn't know that happened like that at August Wilson. Like the crew stayed
So
at the
on
house.
Broadway,
like-
the core stagehands and the core props people and the house managers and stuff, they revolve from show to show.
Yes.
Oh,
But they stay.
Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't know that. Thank you.
they stay. Yeah.
Teachable moment. Okay. So what year was that when you got engaged?
2013, because we got married in 2014.
Okay.
Aw, 10 years. So we have the ultimate question for you. Have you ever sat on the can and clipped your toenails?
No,
Shaved?
no, no, I have to say that has not happened.
It hasn't
Have you-
happened yet.
Has he ever pissed in the sink?
Okay, that I don't know, but if I ever find out, it ain't gonna be pretty. Gonna call Jip.
Hey,
You know, Mark and I
the bathroom.
are friends. I'll be calling Jip.
So funny.
Stay out of the bathroom.
Are
That's
you
right.
type A or type B?
Oh, are you type A or type B? Good question, Pam.
What about you, Gia?
Oh,
Type A or type B?
that's a good question. I don't, it depends on what's happening.
Yeah, right.
Good answer.
Yeah, I really do.
She's type AB.
Yeah, I may be positive. That's,
AB
that's
There you go. Oh man, you guys, too funny.
Oh, this is so much fun. Okay, so if we could talk about the party, because that's going to be the most fun. Pam, please tell us whatever we can share.
Sure. So the impetus for having this party was, of course, to celebrate, 20 years of Jersey Boys, but mostly it was to celebrate the friendships that have come out of the show, between the fans, between the fans and the cast, between the cast and the cast. It was really about celebrating the friendships. So I am so grateful and so happy that this party has come to fruition with the help of all of you and Irene and David Case, and Jessica. It's been a joint effort, but an effort of love. So what can I tell you? Well, very special. What would a Jersey Boys party be without the original Frankie Valli? So David Noroña and his wife will be coming from California. He is very excited to talk to other cast members, to meet fans. Jersey Boys holds a very special place in his heart, and we are very honored and grateful that he's going to come and celebrate, the legacy of Frankie Valli with us. We don't have any of the original members of the Four Seasons, but we do have original Four Seasons members, children and grandchildren coming, several. So that's very exciting. Rick Elice, one of the writers, will be there. And we have several original cast members and lots of other cast members who are going to be performing. So that's going to be really special too.
Okay.
As Gia mentioned, it's at Patsy's. Sal is the chef there. He's going to be preparing some very special dishes, a very special dessert. The place has so much history. Sal can tell some stories about when Frankie came in. So it couldn't be anywhere else. So it's going to be a really special event. So if you haven't bought your tickets yet, buy them. Yeah, the link is on, you have the link here, guys, or is it on the website?
It's gonna be everywhere. The link
Okay.
you can find it
On
at the
our
link in our
website, it's on
bio,
our Instagram.
on our Instagram, on Facebook. We're gonna put it right here also.
Okay,
It'll be there
great.
in the video.
So it's really going to be a once in a lifetime type of party. And again, it's really to celebrate the friendships. And I couldn't have done it without you guys. So love you.
Love you.
Love you all so much. And we also need to acknowledge our other committee members too. So we have David Case, and he has another episode where you can learn all about his stories, his Jersey stories. And Irene Eisen is on our committee.
Yes.
Yes.
Tom Austin, who unfortunately is not able to be there, we're going to be auctioning off a beautiful painting that he did of the August Wilson with the original cars of Frankie, Nick, Bob, and Charlie Colello, who's often referred to as the fifth season. It's a beautiful painting, and there's only about, I think, 4 of them in existence. So we're going to be auctioning that off. There may be some other auction items as well. And Gia, somebody's going to be selling something there as well. Somebody, you want to mention that?
Yes. Our friend Miriam Volter, she's going to be. She makes these awesome figurines, but they're all Jersey Boys related. So when you come, you can purchase them as well.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
And our very own David may be playing. Who knows?
Who knows? There might be some performances.
Maybe.
There might be some performances. I'll be accompanying the keyboard, and
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll have to reach out to people to see if they want to perform. And if you're there, if you're lucky, you might
Uh,
hear some tunes. So
Yes. Yeah, but by a perfect pitch to be, who can play anything in the world.
woohoo!
Yay.
thank you.
3 notes on a Monday evening, and the rest was history.
Rest
There
is-
you go.
and all of Midtown West exploded.
Yeah. Damn right. Yes, but come, dress up, or come as you are, however you want. But it'd be fun if we all can like, celebrate.
Broadway's dark on Mondays, so
That's right.
don't worry about it.
Well, Pam, Wanda, thank you both so much for being on our podcast. And
Thank you for
to get your
having
podcast.
us.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you.
It's been great. And always happy to talk about, the Four Seasons and Jersey Boys and the friendships made out of there. So, it's been a pleasure.
Absolutely.
We're so thankful.
Oh.
Oh,
Salud.
awesome.
Oh,
Hello. I got coffee. Hello.
Hello.